Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for finding us here at Press A to Talk. My name is Kurt, and I'm here with John. Hi, John.
Hello, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much. Today, we're recording our very first episode of our new series, Salty Tears, a show where we rank just a bunch of different stuff. And we're going to start with the starter Pokemon. And this is definitely the first time we've recorded this video, and not the second time because of audio issues. So, in the video after this one, when we have no title for this series yet, just ignore that part because we definitely decided the title before we started recording, and this is the first time we're doing it, right, John?
Absolutely.
All right, awesome. Let's jump right in with Bulbasaur.
All right, so do we want to go back and forth and we'll each start with one and go from there?
Yeah, I think like snake style, that's the way to do it. So I'll start, and I'm going to put Bulbasaur
Perfect.
solidly A tier. Good Pokemon, better when his skin is blue instead of green, like they've made him be since like Gen 3, but it's fine.
They were like, "Oh yeah, he's grass green." Okay, so I'll agree with you on Bulbasaur, and I'll also put Bulbasaur at A tier. He was the first starter that I used that I can remember when I played Leaf Green for the first time. Just because naturally it was Leaf Green, and I was like, well, Bulbasaur, Leaf Green have to go together, and so he does get some bonus there because of that fact. But he's just overall a good Pokemon, and I love him. So
Was
A
was
tier.
a was Leaf Green your first Pokemon game?
Actually, yes, it was.
Wow. Did you go back and play like Ruby Sapphire, Gold and Silver after that?
Yes, absolutely, I sure did.
That's cool. I had
So,
an older brother, so I started like with the original. Like the worst thing I've ever done in my life, John. I think I've told you this is I deleted my brother's Pokemon Red save file.
mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
still to this day feel guilty about it. But all that to say, I did play the original. It's interesting. Someone like around the same age jumping in with a later entry, even if it's still a remake of the first one.
As long as he didn't have any shiny Pokemon on that file, I think you should be okay though.
Well, the good news, it was a Gen 1 game, so there were no shiny Pokemon.
There you go. That's fine. I couldn't remember if Gen 1 had shiny Pokemon. I knew the odds were insanely terrible,
Yeah,
but I
no,
didn't know if Gen 1 had them or not.
they introduced shiny Pokemon in Gen 2. That's why there was like a whole big event with the red Gyarados and everything.
Oh, okay. That makes perfect sense. Got to know my Pokemon lore here, huh?
I mean, I guess we're just kind of supposed to be like, this one good, this one bad, but we kind of went on a tangent.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. That makes for good quality content.
I hope
All right. So
so.
to get back into it, I guess the next one's going to be Charmander. So I'm going to go ahead and put him in B tier. I know that may surprise some people. Why is he not S tier? It's because he's not a dragon. I mean, it's it's because I think overall he gets overrated. He's a great Pokemon, but I think he just gets a little bit too much love compared to the other two. When I think equally all three of them are just great Pokemon, but ultimately I would pick him below Bulbasaur or Squirtle in this case.
Yeah, I'm just going to echo all the same feelings that you have. Charmander, cool Pokemon, not as cool as Bulbasaur or Squirtle, and it's odd to me that he's just the starter in what seems like most people's minds.
That is definitely always confusing to me, but that's fine.
We got Squirtle here. Squirtle is S tier. That's what the S stands for.
All right, and I'm also going to mirror that. Since this is the very first time that we've recorded this video, then yes, we this seems very similar, like a deja vu sort of thing going on. But yes, the S in Squirtle stands for S tier, and because I have a love for birds and turtles, so just naturally the turtle's going to get bumped up on the list just a little bit extra, just because it's just a great design and turtles are awesome.
Yeah, Squirtle was my first starter Pokemon that I remember. If I'm being
Hmm.
completely honest with myself, I think I might have picked Charmander my very first time, but that's when I was too young to know what was happening. The first time I actually did a legitimate playthrough, I picked Squirtle, and it was a good time.
Okay.
Where are you putting Pikachu, John?
Oh yeah. Oh, it is my turn. Okay. Pikachu is going in F tier.
What?
It may throw some people off, but honestly, Pikachu is just way overrated. I get that Pikachu is the mascot of Pokemon. But I mean, overall, I just think he's not as good as these other starters for this generation, and just overall, eh,
I agree that Pikachu's overrated. It's just oversaturation maybe would be more appropriate.
maybe.
It's still a solid design. It's still cool that you can have an electric starter in a couple of the games, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. If this was like Fat Pikachu, then it might be like C or B. But I don't know. Something about making it skinnier made it less endearing to me, and I'm just kind of tired of it being everywhere. Like I just started playing Pokemon Go again, and I have like 7 event Pikachu's, and it's like I want an event
I have
Chikorita.
something else.
Yeah, but alas. So it's not on this list. I couldn't find one a tier list with Eevee in it, and I didn't feel like making my own. But if Eevee was here, where would you put Eevee?
uh, B,
B. Okay.
solid B. Yeah.
I would.
Just because of the universalness of Eevee, and then just overall,
What's your
I
favorite?
like Eevee a lot more than Pikachu.
Oh yeah, definitely. Most any sane person does. No offense if you like Pikachu more, it's fine. I would probably put Eevee in probably A tier. I kind of want to say S, but probably just A tier. I like Eevee a lot. I played Let's Go Eevee, and that was super fun. That's one of my wife's favorite Pokemons, so I'm super into it.
Hmm.
What's your favorite evolution?
If I had to pick one, I would probably pick Vaporeon.
Okay, Vaporeon's cool. I'm an Espeon man myself, but to each their own.
Completely understandable.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Chikorita, S tier.
All right. Why the S tier for Chikorita? Just curious.
Because it's perfect. It's a tiny brontosaurus, and it's adorable, and I really like its leaf.
Did I really not know this was mimicked after a Brontosaurus?
Well, did you
Interesting.
think about like
Did
Meganium?
I legit did not know it was supposed to be a Brontosaurus.
That's how I always saw it, like a
It,
dinosaur, like a long necked dinosaur.
it makes so much sense.
Isn't Sorry, I'm going off topic again. Isn't
Go ahead.
Brontosaurus like technically not a real dinosaur? Isn't it like an apatosaurus? And then somebody on a different country discovered the same fossil and named it the Brontosaurus. But then later they were like, oh, that already has been discovered. Never mind. This isn't.
I'm gonna let you know that I played a lot of Ark, but I don't know the answer to that question.
It's okay. This isn't important. Where would you put Chikorita?
I will put Chikorita in B tier. I really enjoy Chikorita. Hopefully that does not offend you. I love the leaf. I love the leaf. That's why we got a B tier. But uh, it's tough competition with the rest of the Johto starters. So that's
Oh yeah.
ultimately why I. That's why more often than not had chosen different starters for the Johto region, and that's why ultimately Chikorita makes it a little bit lower for me. I guess that brings us to Cyndaquil, correct?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and throw Cyndaquil in S tier. Um,
Correct.
if if, however, they did not include the fire on Cyndaquil for this tier list, it may have gotten a little bit lower. I kind of was disappointed whenever I started looking at Cyndaquil in the newer generations that they were removing the fire by default
Mm-hmm.
because they don't remove the fire by default from Charmander, for example, so or Chimchar. So I just feel like it kind of makes the design a little bit worse to not include that when it was formerly included in each of the games. So
Yeah, I definitely think it looks cooler with the fire. I think like I don't know, the biology of it is supposed to be that whenever it's like exerting effort, it shoots fire out of its back. But I mean, it definitely looks way cooler with the fire. And I could be wrong, but I think in footage of the upcoming Pokemon Legends Arceus, it shows him by Cynical having the fire by default. So your dreams might come true, John.
yes, that is perfect.
Yeah, Cyndaquil is great. Cyndaquil is the only starter Pokemon that I've ever run through an entire game without evolving. I did that with Heart Gold. I didn't give it an Everstone because I wanted it to have another item. I think it was something dumb like charcoal.
That got
But
tedious, didn't it?
yeah, every time it leveled up, it was just like no B. But yeah, no,
Just don't forget.
I love Cyndaquil. Cyndaquil is an awesome design. In fact, all of the Johto starters, I think, are just near perfect, if not perfect. I think between the three of them, all S tier, probably the strongest overall designs of any generation.
Absolutely. All right, so where do I put this little bitty Totodile? I'm gonna go ahead and put Totodile on A tier.
Okay.
I love the design. It kind of reminds me of the alligator enemies from Donkey Kong,
The clap
and
traps.
I guess so. Yeah, yeah. I couldn't remember their name. Yeah, that sounds about right. So that's one of the reasons. Is like every time I look at this picture that they're showing specifically there, I think of them. And but overall, I just love the alligator design. Or well, I'm sorry, crocodile design. I've made
How
a mistake.
how dare you?
But it turns into a for alligator later. So it turns into from crocodile to alligator. So
Just like
that's
nature.
that. Yes, exactly. Sure. So that's why I put it at A tier, just because overall great design, and of course the JoJo starters just overall are great.
It also has like a vest, which is cool. Speaking of alligators, what about Trico?
Oh well, of course, the next alligator
The
in
next
line.
alligator.
I'll put Trico in C tier.
C tier.
He's okay, but I have more favorites. So honestly, he's more of a meh.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really know what else to say on that one. So I'll turn it over to you on that.
No, you're good. I'm thinking hard about this one. So we joked about it, and I'm sure you figured this out. But this is the second time we're recording this because we had some audio issues, and I remember struggling with Trico's placement last time. And I know it's somewhere between A and C. I'm not trying to copy what I did last time, but I remember struggling with that choice, and I'm doing that now. I think it's B for me, but but I like it.
You
Well,
just got to do the
I'm looking at like the
pros and
Pokemon
cons.
that are coming up. B. Let's go B. B's a good score still.
See, that's the trick. You got to look at what you have there and what you have left, and you're like, is this comparable to what I'm gonna put? What else I'm gonna put here?
Yeah. So yeah, Trico B.
All right,
Torchic
solid
on
B.
the other hand, A. Torchic was the first starter Pokemon that I chose in a Pokemon game that was mine. So instead of erasing my brother's games, my brother got me Pokemon Ruby for Christmas one year, and I picked Torchic. And Torchic's one of my favorite starters. I know there's 4 or 5 more ahead of it, depending on how you read this, but I really like Torchic, and
Hmm.
its later evolution, like Blaziken specifically, is one that I really like.
Right. Okay. I am going to put Torchic on B tier. It gets a one up from Trico because it is a bird. It is a chicken, and I love chickens, so B tier. But overall, it is the start of a it's going to be a start of sameness for the fire starters. So, but it is the first one
do you do you
of the.
do you have a particular type that you gravitate towards whenever you're choosing starters? Like through the
Yes.
generations, what type?
Looking at them, it's almost an equal split between grass and water. Fire would probably be my least
Yeah.
picked Pokemon, honestly. But looking at this list, I looks like more often than not I chose water Pokemon actually.
Yeah, mine's a pretty even split between water and grass as well. I chose Torchic and I chose Scorbunny. Side note, Scorbunny is the only starter that I've ever boxed on a first playthrough because I didn't like its evolutions. But yeah, I don't know what it is about fire Pokemon in general, or maybe it's just fire starters that don't pull, I suppose, either of us in too much. Um, but what about Mudkip? Do you like Mudkip?
Mudkip. We'll go ahead and put Mudkip on B as well.
Okay.
It gets a one up on Trico just because I love the design. And it it's more of a meh. I don't know what it was about this specific generation. Was this generation 3? Is
Yeah.
that right? Yes, Gen 3. I don't know, but those starters were more of a meh for me, but Definitely Trico was a lower tier than Torchic and Mudkip, but Mudkip just loving the blue and the orange. It seems like a good color palette to go together.
Oh yeah.
So
I'm gonna put Mudkip in. What am I looking with? I'm gonna put Mudkip in A. I like Mudkip. It's
yeah,
it's adorable, and we're trying not to take the evolutions into account too much, but it's got some cool
right.
evolutions. Um, I also like that it's quadrupedal. I
Hmm.
I don't know why specifically, but quadrupedal Pokemon are more fun to me than bipedal Pokemon.
Wow, looking at this, there's really not that many quadrupedal starters, are there?
Exactly, exactly. But speaking of quadrupedal starters, S tier, easy,
I agree.
perfect Pokemon.
Right up there. Yes.
Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. I can't talk. Turtwig, here we come.
Yes, I love the design of Turtwig ever since I originally seen Turtwig whenever I believe there were commercials that I used to watch as a child that involved Pokemon and such, and I remember seeing Turtwig on somewhere and I was like, that's that I want that Pokemon. It's beautiful. It's a turtle. It's got little leaves on its head. It's so happy. There you go.
I remember when I was a kid,
I was sold.
I was like gardening with my mom, and I knew that Diamond and Pearl were coming out, and I wanted her to buy it for me because I was a child and couldn't make any financial decisions on my own.
Hmm.
And I was like, "What do you think, Mom? Should I pick the grass turtle, the fire monkey, or the water penguin?" And she just turns around and looks at
Hmm.
me, and she's like, "I don't know what you're talking about."
Well, which one did she pick, or did she just never? She never decided on one.
She just ignored my question. Like, I mean, she wasn't rude about it. She just ignored my
Yeah.
question, and then I kept asking her to buy it for me, and she kept saying no until eventually I asked one too many times. She got really mad and then took me to the store, so I'd stop asking.
She didn't hear from you again until Gen 5 came out, I'm guessing.
I put 400 hours into Pokemon Pearl. That was the only Pokédex I've ever completed.
Yeah, I'm actually working on my first ever completed Pokedex right now,
Yeah,
but
you're getting
so
pretty
it'll be
close.
an achievement for me. Yes, I'm getting very close. Okay, but yes, Turtwig, very overall amazing Pokemon. So let's
Mm-hmm.
go ahead and give our opinions over here for Chimchar. Chimchar is also going to be an S tier Pokemon.
I forgot you liked Chimchar so much.
It's just the fire monkey. It's just amazing. I don't, this is the first time we've recorded this, so I don't remember what I said last time. But overall, thinking about it, yes, I think just the Gen 4 starters, especially compared to Gen 3 for me, just really outdid themselves, and I really love all three of them. So Chimchar definitely made S tier here as well.
I think Chimchar for me is going to be. I want to say I don't like it, but then I look at it and I'm kind of like, huh? Kind of like it. I'm going to put it in B tier. I kind of like it. It's cute. I don't have much more to say than that, but it's cute. I like it.
Right.
Piplup is A tier. My wife's favorite animal is a penguin, and so she wouldn't forgive me for putting it any lower. But also, I just like Piplup.
Yes, I quite enjoy Piplup as well, so I'll go ahead and put Piplup in S tier.
Yeah, bird
Uh,
tier.
because it is a bird. Yes, exactly. Torchic may make you think that I don't think birds deserve more upper ends of this list, but Piplup will definitely steer you in the right direction when it comes to my thoughts on bird Pokemon. So, uh, just overall amazing design. And just watching, I remember watching the series growing up with these three Pokemon in it, and I think they ended up kind of sealing my fate when it come to enjoying these Pokemon. So that's why they make it so far on the list, if I had to guess.
I, I know this is an impossible question to answer because it doesn't really make sense, but
Mm-hmm.
so take the bird criteria away. Like, Torchic's
Mm-hmm.
not a bird.
Mm-hmm.
Where does it fall in your list? If it's B because it gets bonus points for being a bird, where does it actually go?
See you with Trico.
C with Trico. Okay, well, good thing
Yes, it
it's a
would have
bird.
been tied with Trico, but because it was a bird and a chicken, it had to go to B.
All right, what about snakes with arms and legs? How do you feel about snakes with arms and legs?
I will probably have different answers than the made up time we did this before because it's definitely the first time. But
John, we already admitted it. It's
because,
okay.
but I've had more familiarity with some of these starters that are on this list because I'm, like I had mentioned previously, completing a Pokédex right now. So I've evolved all these Pokemon at this point, and I don't know. I kind of like this snake a little bit more than I did last time. So I don't know if it's going to change spots yet because I don't remember where it was before, but I'm going to go ahead and put it on C.
I,
So,
you're like, I like this one quite a bit now. C tier.
well, you see, I could have put it on D or F last time.
I
Is
mean,
why I was saying that.
that's true. You could have done that. That's true. Hey John, you've been very careful to not say this Pokemon's name. Do you know what this Pokemon's name is?
Snivy,
Yeah,
yes.
okay, that's right. I
If
noticed
you
you
if you would
hadn't
have
said
asked me
it.
this, if you would have asked me this in the last video, I wouldn't have known without looking. But now that I've gotten more familiarity with them, I know. I think I know all of their names at this point.
Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna put
I may mix
Snivy.
them up with their evolutions though, but I don't think
Yeah,
so.
no one will be upset about that probably. Snivy's also C tier for me. It's I, I don't the Gen 5 starters. So Pokemon Black and White and Black and White 2 I think are probably just the best Pokemon games.
Hmm.
But I think besides maybe well, I was going to say they have like the weakest starters overall. I don't know if that's true with Gen 7 and 8 because I just didn't love those the way I loved the first 5 gens.
Hmm.
But I I don't think there's like any standout really strong Pokemon or starter Pokemon in Gen 5. Whereas even in the later gens, even if there's some that are not so good, there's one that's like pretty strong. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah, that does make
Okay.
sense.
So yeah, Snivy C tier. I'm gonna put Tepig in D tier down here with Pikachu. It's cute. I just something about it just doesn't hit me.
Yeah, I agree. Tepic does belong in D tier. So I got more familiarity with it, but that didn't mean I liked it more. So
Mm-mm.
I don't know. Just the color scheme just seems odd for it. And as someone that loves the color orange, I'm sad that something that's orange needs to go lower on this list, but it can't be helped.
I didn't know you loved the color orange. That's always something that I associate with Ryder, even though I don't really think he does. He just always wore an orange hoodie in high school, so that's all I think about with him.
Well, I've noticed this recently, but I am starting to levitate toward the color orange because
You,
I my
do
phone case is now orange, and a few more things that I own are now orange, and I didn't even know. So apparently, I'm beginning to like the color orange more than I thought. But
do you mean gravitate towards orange?
that was the word in my head that I said. What did I say out loud?
You said levitate. Oh,
I'm avoiding ground type moves. Okay.
yeah, good job.
All right.
What about
That was the.
Oh, go
I
ahead.
said that word correctly in my head. Sorry about that.
You were just so confident. You're like, yeah, I'm levitating towards orange, and I was like, I wonder if that sentence has ever been said before, just ever.
You know, in my family, it wouldn't. I wouldn't put it past them, but um, at
All right.
least it was said correctly in my head. But anyway, Oshawott.
Yeah.
Oshawott is going to get a bump up. Actually, I'm going to bump up Oshawott to A tier. Actually,
Ooh, nice.
I
We did
just
the
love
same.
the seashell look, and it just looks, just looks so cute. And honestly, it deserves to be higher up on the list than I believe I put it before.
Yeah, Oshawott adorable, and it uses its little shell, and its shell is basically a lightsaber because it makes like a water blade come out of the shell. It's amazing.
Hmm.
Um, it
Perfect.
it looks a little weird. That's holding it back from like S tier, but overall amazing. Chespin, boop.
Your favorite Pokemon. Got him.
So
Um,
so
Go
again,
ahead.
we're trying to be fair, and we're trying not to hold a Pokemon's evolutions against it. But at the end of the day, we can't deny what Chespin becomes. And Chespin's not that good a Pokemon to begin with, design wise. And we can't deny what it becomes. So we just need to accept that it's an F tier Pokemon and move on with our lives.
Yeah, I got very confused by Chespin because I traded with somebody and got the fully evolved version of this, and I didn't realize that it was a starter. because of the evolution. I was like, I don't know what Pokemon this is, and I had to look it up. I honestly didn't know. And I was like, oh, this is the other starter. Oh, okay. I don't like this. Anyway, I'm gonna Chespin. I think honestly does belong in F tier for my list as well. I think it's the worst out of the three for the. I believe it's the Kalos region. Is that right?
Correct.
Yes. Yes. So I believe, unfortunately, Chespin is the worst, and so it needs to go at the bottom.
What about Finnegan?
Fennekin is going to go a little bit higher up. If I'm not mistaken, it fully evolves into a fire psychic, right? That definitely surprised me. But anyway, quit stalling, John. It's time to give an answer. It's going to be B tier.
B tier. Yeah, that
It's a fox. It's pretty nice,
it's a
but
fox. It's pretty
it
nice.
is a fox.
It is. That just made me laugh. I don't know why. Um,
Yeah, see? That's why I had to
um,
stall at the beginning.
yeah, I'm just gonna say into the microphone because that's good content.
Well, you can use words like levitate to
I'm
buy you some more time if you need to.
levitate. I'm gonna put it here.
I think you meant gravitate.
I like. Dang it, John, you got me. I I like Finnegan. I This is a huge tangent, but overall, I don't really
Go
mind
for it.
like the animeification of Pokemon. And I know what you're saying, thinking, viewers. You're like, but the Pokemon anime came out in the 90s and it's always been kind of it's like, yes, you're right, but like the default art style for the Pokemon games was not anime.
Yeah.
Nor was the anime's art style like super intense anime, kind of like we're getting now in the games. Um, and nothing against that or the people that like it. I enjoy stuff like that. But like, see, John, I told you this was a huge tangent. My point isn't even that important. Finnegan has a really big head and really big eyes and a really small body, and that's why it's in C tier instead of B tier. That's my point. It's just,
Well, that's fine.
it's like they tried to make it cute and they went too far.
Right. The art style definitely did change, and this is where you can definitely noticeably see it moving forward with the series.
Oh yeah, it was
And,
like
I
Gen
could I could
6 hit it
see
hard.
I could see the hesitancy to put it any higher on the list, but you know, this is purely opinionated, so you can put it wherever you would like.
Yeah, based on the name of the series, we're supposed to be getting mad at each other over these choices, but we're like way too casual about everything for that to be happening. Um,
Well, at the end of the day, how you feel about these Pokemon doesn't really affect how I like them, so and
no,
vice versa.
John, you're not allowed to like any of the Pokemon that I don't like. Speaking of
Oh,
Pokemon that I
okay.
don't like, not Froakie. Froakie is A tier. I like Froakie quite a
I was
bit.
about to say I was about to be a bit surprised. So Froakie, I've learned a lot more about this Pokemon since last we visited this, and I'm actually gonna put Froakie in S tier. It is
Wow.
it's something I haven't mentioned, but frogs are amazing too. Um, Overall, this is a great starter. I just love the color scheme, and overall, that's why it deserves S tier for me.
Yeah, Froakie's super cool. I'm replaying Pokemon X right now with an all rock team, and it made me think about
Hmm.
how the first time I played Pokemon X, I picked Froakie and I was super into it. For whatever reason, I fell off. Several months later, I picked the game back up and I was like, I'm just going to start over. And I knew that a few hours into the game, you get to choose one of the Gen 1 starters. And I was like, well, Squirtle is one of my favorite Pokemon. So I'm going to pick Squirtle. And so I don't want to choose Froakie because I don't want to have two water types. So I chose
Right.
Chespin because I didn't know what it turned into. And I was like, I don't really like fire types, so I'll choose Chespin. And that is the
Right.
worst thing that I've done in my life. It wasn't erasing my brother's game, it was choosing Chespin instead of Froakie. Um,
It's a regret you have to this day, huh?
to this day. But anyway, it's look, John, it's a bird.
It is a bird, and this bird is going to go let's go A tier.
H. Ooh, okay, okay.
Okay, this has changed from last time because I don't know. It's a bird, obviously, but the reason I put it in
Obviously.
A tier is because originally I had said that it just didn't seem like a grass Pokemon as a starter. But then again, when I started using it, for my team for a little while so I could level it up. It the little bow tie won me over, and now it's higher on the list.
Yeah, it's got a leaf bow tie. It's obviously grass type.
Now, I does this Pokemon start out as a grass flying or just grass?
No, it's grass flying. I think besides Bulbasaur, I'm like looking over everything real quick. I think besides Bulbasaur, it's the only Pokemon starter Pokemon to be two types, like at first evolution.
That is fun facts that I didn't even think about before. But there you go.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. But then it like loses its flying type when it's fully evolved, and that's weird. But
Mm-hmm.
but no, Rowlet's an awesome design. I really like it. That's all there is to it. Litten. So I have two cats, and so I like Litten more than I did before I had two cats. But I still don't really like love Litten. So Litten's gonna be like C tier.
All right. I can understand that. I'm gonna go ahead and throw Litten in D tier with Tepig, just because uh just it just seems meh again. I don't know another word to describe it. There's nothing about it that really my brain is like, I like this. It's more of it's there.
Well, you are
So,
allergic
and
to
I'm
cats, so
yes, exactly. And that may have an aspect in my choice here, but I honestly don't know. I'm scratching my nose right now just thinking about this Litten. So maybe that has factored into my answer here.
what about Poplio?
Poplio is probably going to make it higher on my list than it did last time, but it's still only going to make it to a C. Um, Overall, I like this starter's look. It but the nose and the mouth kind of just look like a party hat that's been put on the front of his face, which is probably by design.
Yeah, I think
But
so.
it's okay. But I'm more of a fan of Seal, Seal's design, just more
Uh,
simplified, I guess.
Personally, I'm
Even
a
though they're not
Spheal
the
man
exact same
myself.
Pokemon.
Well,
Oh, okay.
Poplio is based on a sea lion, so I'm not really sure
Mm-hmm.
what comparison you're trying to make.
Right.
C or D? I'm gonna put Poplio in C, and I'm gonna move Snivy up to B. I like Snivy more than C.
Well, as you make the list a little bit more, maybe you do realize you're like, well, I do like this better than everything else I put in this tier, so I guess it does
Exactly.
deserve a raise.
That's what I was like. This is really high C tier if it's C tier, so I'm just gonna go ahead and move
Hmm.
it up. Uh,
Perfectly fine.
Grookey, the only Gen 8 starter that I wasn't completely disappointed with their evolutions. Grookey is still not that amazing. Solidly C tier.
Um, I'm also gonna throw Grookey in C tier. Overall, I did not like the Galar region starters that much. I can tell you, I chose Grookey when I went through the playthrough, and it hit level 16 where I could get a bunch more Pokemon. It evolved, and then I put it in the box and never thought about it again.
Yeah, Grookey's second evolution is not great. Its final evolution is like, it's okay. It's like pretty good, but it's not great.
Hmm.
And then I don't know. We'll talk about the other evolutions later. I like the first stages of the Gen 8 Pokemon like pretty well overall. Like I'm gonna put Scorbunny in A tier. Like I do like Score.
Well, Kurt, you're ruining everybody's suspense. I had to go first.
Oh yeah. Okay, go first. I'm sorry. Where are you putting it?
No, it's perfectly fine. It's not
No, I broke the
Here's where the
rules.
salty tears come in. I got to start yelling. All right. Score Bunny for me is gonna go in D tier. You might notice a trend here. D tier is for the sad fire starters.
Yeah, I said A, but then I that felt wrong. So
You needed time to think
B.
about it, huh?
Yeah, I just needed time to second guess myself.
Well, this design of Score Bunny is okay.
Hmm.
I just do not like the band-aids,
Yeah,
as what I'm gonna call them. They
it's
just look weird.
it is like band-aid. It's supposed to be I think like athletic tape because it's like the soccer Pokemon, which when it
Right.
evolves, that's part of the reason I don't like it. But it's I really like Scorbunny's like base design. Does it need that piece of tape on its face? No, not
Right.
really. But overall, I enjoy it. Um, Same thing with Sobble. Overall, I enjoy Sobble. I think it's fun that it has like a really strong personality.
Okay, that's an interesting choice on Sobble. I'm gonna go ahead and put Sobble in D tier. Uh, and the reason for that is I kind of liked the starter Sobble, not talking anything else about the evolutionary lines, but just the fact when you start Pokemon Sword or Pokemon Shield and you get into the game and you get a little ways in and you finally see the three starters and they have that little cinematic of the three starters running around
Mm-hmm.
in that little battle arena with the tree and the water nearby. Just that scene with Sobble just kind of threw out any chance of me liking it, just because
Oh,
it was it was just so sad.
it's
And
scared.
I
It's a
don't
little
know,
innocent little child.
I guess, but it just I don't know, just that mixed with, I don't know, just overall my opinion of it changed whenever I watched that intro scene. I was like, I don't really like this Pokemon that much.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Also, why would you choose a Sobble when you can get a Dreadnought, which is another water type in Gen 8? That's a
That
turtle.
is exactly right. It is a turtle, and it was on my team when I played through a good bit of the game.
It's because it's a good Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all right, John.
Absolutely.
Any last minute changes you want to make?
I don't think so. I'm gonna stick with what I got going here.
All
I like the way my list looks. It looks pretty evened out. The only one that doesn't have a lot is F tier, and honestly, that's a good thing.
right. Yeah,
So I think my list looks pretty even.
yeah. I'm second guessing myself a little bit, but I'm just gonna go with it. I'm gonna commit to this, and then I'm gonna go back and see how different my list is from the first time we did this.
Oh, are you second guessing where you wanted to put Chespin? Is that what it is?
Yeah, on like consideration, he's kind of S tier,
Yeah,
but
or T tier for trash.
it wouldn't it wouldn't be fair to move him up and not move anyone else. So I think we'll just leave him right where he is, and we'll call
Okay.
this an episode. So thank you, John, so much for joining me for this, and thank you all so much for watching. We'll have more salty tears to come, and specifically more Pokemon. All right, thanks. Bye.